Hi, and welcome everybody to another edition of the Winner Circle Sports Betting Podcast. It's Friday, September the 23rd. Wow, September 23rd. Where's the month going? Anyway, like every Friday, I'm joined by the guy they call the Iceman, Jesse Schul. And why they call him the Iceman? Man, this guy's a stone cold bookie killer. I mean, I'm talking stone cold, folks. I'm off to a 21-12 start between college football and NFL this year. That's 64%. And I am extremely happy with that. Yet, this guy here, college football and NFL combined to start the year, as documented by sportscapping.com, 24-3. That's right, 24-3. And that's all documented. You can check with sportscapping.com. Mr. Jesse Schul, without further ado, how are you, my friend?
Well, Ross, you just said it. I'm feeling pretty good about myself right now. I will say though that that record, there was some luck involved. I don't want to say that
there always is.
Maybe not every game was lucky, but at least a few of them were lucky. But I'll take it.
Yeah, they always say that you make your own luck. And I think we discussed this last week. And look, when things are going good, folks, stuff like having the New York Jets against Cleveland last week, stuff like having the Miami Dolphins against Baltimore last week goes your way. I mean, I believe you had the Jets last week, right?
And the Dolphins.
All skill, baby. All skill. When I'm talking about a 30-17 lead with less than 2 minutes to go and you come back and win the game, all skill, baby. No luck involved. Baltimore up 35-14 over Miami in a fourth quarter last week, ends up 42-38 Baltimore. Wow. This guy was on both of those winners. So talk about lucky, talk about skill. He's a combination of both. And when we're going good, like we both are right now, breaks go your way. That's just the way it is. And when it's going bad, Jesse, as you well know, we find ways to lose in crazy manners sometimes. So, and in any event, we got 2 NFL free picks for you on Sunday, and starting with the Cincinnati Bengals at the New York Jets game that Jesse will be looking at. And by the way, folks, you can find Jesse at jesseschul.com. That's jesseschul.com. That's SCHULE is his last name, JESSE, Schul.com. Jesse, what do you got?
Well, we're looking at the Jets, and as you mentioned, I did have the Jets last week. And I do feel fortunate that they were able to come back and score twice in the final couple minutes there to get the outright win. And from a situational standpoint, normally I would want to go against a team coming off a victory like that, a victory that, you might question whether they earned it or whether they got lucky. And another situational angle here is, if you remember, the Jets did that to the Bengals last year. So it's a revenge spot for the Bengals. But as Lee Corso says, not so fast, my friends, because there's all sorts of problems for this Cincy team. Revenge angle or not, Jets getting lucky or not. Joe Burrow's been sacked 13 times in 2 games.
So much for the improvement on the offensive line, right, Jesse?
And you can't be a 6-point road favorite in my mind if you can't keep your quarterback up, right? And last week they lost to a Dallas team with a backup quarterback. Cooper Rush threw for, what did he throw for? 230 yards, 1 touchdown on 19 of 31 passing. The Bengals just couldn't score points until the fourth quarter, almost forced overtime, but lost by a field goal. And now they face a Jets team that, Flacco, back-to-back games, over 300 yards passing, 5 touchdowns, 1 pick in 2 games. As much as this appears to be the game that that Cincinnati gets back on track, it appears to be a revenge game for Cincinnati. But with that offensive line struggling, I can't pull the trigger on Cincinnati. I got to take the points. The Bengals are 1-5 against the spread in their last 6 at New York. The home team's covered in 8 of the last 10 head-to-head meetings, and I just think it's too many points.
Yeah, I can't disagree with you. Cincinnati is another team with the loser of the Super Bowl hangover the following year. Everybody talks about winning the Super Bowl and the hangover. If you really look into the data, it's the loser of the Super Bowl the prior year that usually struggles against the spread in the following year. And Cincinnati right now, hey, they may right the ship, and I think they will eventually, but they're off to an 0-2 start, and both games as a favorite. But so there you go. There you have it. So, and the Jets have been good to Jesse. I mean, not only last week, I think they were good to you during the preseason too, right?
You betcha. They were, well, didn't they run the table in the preseason? I think I was on them every game.
Yeah. And were you on them in week one? They played, well, they lost in week one. So you probably weren't the way you're going. You only lost 3 damn games so far.
They did cover, but I wasn't on.
Okay. So anyway, they didn't cover. They played Baltimore in week one. They did not cover. They lost that game 19-7.
Oh, that's right. I was thinking about, I had them mixed up with the Lions.
It's okay. The Lions did cover in the opener, 38-35 loss. They were an underdog against Philadelphia, and they were something around a 4.5 point underdog. Anyway, we'll allow you that error. Just don't make any mistakes on the games, Jess. I mean, 24-3, you're not making many errors. Don't save them for this program. Do it on another program. Anyway, all in good. It's Jesse Schul at jesseshul.com, one of the finest handicappers in the country, folks. I shouldn't say the country because I would say globally, because Jesse is from Western Canada. He now resides in Thailand, so he's global. And I can guarantee you one thing. He's the best sports handicapper in Thailand right now. I would put my money on that.
Next week, Ross, we'll be doing this show, and I'll be doing it from Malaysia.
Wow, Malaysia. Okay. So a taste of Asia from Jesse Schul. Anyway, I'm going to take a look at the New Orleans Saints in the Carolina Panthers game. Right now, New Orleans is a 2.5 point favorite, and the total is 41. Since 2018, New Orleans has just been a terrific road team. As a matter of fact, 27-7 straight up, and 24-10-1 or 24-10 against the spread during that course of time. And that includes if they were an away favorite off an ATS loss like they are right now, because they did not cover against Tampa Bay last week. They go to 7-0 and 6-1 against the spread since 2018. So this is a team that's been road warriors in recent years. Yes, Sean Payton was the head coach for the majority of those games. As a matter of fact, all but one. They did, however, come back with a frantic comeback in their season opener at Atlanta to win 27-26. On the other hand, this is a Carolina team that stumbled off to a 0-2 start, and those were 2 very winnable games. They were favored in each. They lost at home to Cleveland in their season opener by 2, and they lost last week by 3 against the New York Football Giants. So 2 very tough losses. And under Matt Rule, Carolina 4-13 straight up in ATS on their home field. And that includes 0-6 straight up in ATS if they're coming off a road loss, which they are. And those 6 losses came by an average of 12.1 points per game. So one team's been very good on the road. The other team, not so well at home. And also under Jabril, Carolina 0-9 straight up and 1-8 ATS off a loss by 6 points or less. They're off a 3-point loss. And New Orleans 9-2 straight up in their last 11 versus Carolina, and 4-1 straight up in the last 5 at Carolina. And New Orleans, I mentioned their road record. Well, if they're coming off a loss on the road, 8-2 straight up in their last 10 away off a loss. You may wonder why I'm bringing up straight up numbers. Well, because New Orleans is only a favorite of 2.5. Now, they could win the game by 1 or 2 and not cover. But if you run the numbers, it's astronomical odds not astronomical, but long odds, how many NFL games land on one or two, just in as far as the result goes. So I'm going to go with New Orleans here, -2.5 at Carolina. And Jesse Shule, the red hot Jesse Shule, the man they call the Iceman, he is 24-3 to start the season in NFL college football combined. Like I alluded to, 21-12 for me, NFL college football combined, 64%. I'm pretty happy with that. Jesse's just been unconscious. And folks, you need to spend a little money with both of us, because if you look at the leaderboards at Sports Memo, you look at the leaderboards at also Cap, or what's the other sites we're on here? Picksandparleys.net and sportscapping.com. You'll see me and Jesse's name at the top of the leaderboard. So, Jesse, tell the folks what you might have going on coming up. They already know how you're doing, what you might have coming up this weekend in football.
Well, because I've been doing so well, I don't want to push my luck too much. I got 3 college games for Saturday. I got 3 NFL games for Sunday. Last week, won all 3 college on Saturday, won all 3 NFL on Sunday. Looking to do it again and break out that yellow outfit with the blonde wig.
And what he's referring to is we did a show on Monday at Sports Memo with Joey D'Amico, and Jesse showed up with a blonde wig, and he looked like Owen Wilson with a hangover. So in any event, hey, you know what? It's not only we need to pick winners, we need to entertain, and Jesse's could be very entertaining at times. Let's put it that way. Anyway, Jesse, always a pleasure, my friend. Then keep up the good work, and we'll see you next week.
You betcha.
All right. Until the next time, for Jesse Shule and Ross Benjamin, we'd like to wish each and every one of you all the very best. Take care and God bless, folks.